Good morning everybody. This is Bhargavi. Welcome to the Programming Guide channel. Today we are going to discuss about the process synchronization. Process is nothing but what? It is a task, it is an action or set of instructions or a program or a thread. Everything call it as a process. So here in this session we are going to discuss about the synchronization. So the process synchronization comes under the there are considered many situations such that two processes need to communicate with each other by perform in order to perform a task. That means to complete a task, both the processes has to communicate each other. Now these two processes can communicate with the help of IPC, inter-process communication. Already we discussed this IPC in the last video. Now if the two processes want to interact with each other, they can communicate with the help of the shared memory, shared memory and and message passing techniques. So with the help of these two techniques, both the processes has to communicate each other. Now when two processes are having shared memory, there may be a conflict. Consider that there is a shared variable x, so in that the value is 10. Now P1 is incrementing the value of 10 and at the same time P2 is decrementing the value of 10. After certain amount of time, so P1 and P2 cannot have the idea about how the increment is happening or how the decrement is happening. So initially P1 is increasing, so it becomes 11. Automatically P2 is decreasing, now it becomes 10. Now P1 assumes that I incremented the value, it should be 11. But P2 assumes that I decremented the value, so it will be 9. But it is 10 only. That means P1 and P2 are having the values. That means incrementation, decrementation is happening, but not in a proper way. That means P1 and P2 are doing at the same time. So there is a confusion for the P1 and P2. So how the values are getting like this. That means P1 is assuming that the value is 10. Increment, so it becomes 11. P1 assumes that no, the value of x is 11. Now P2 assumes that already value is 10 is there. I am decrementing, so it should be 9. So according to the P1, the value of x will be 11. According to the P2, the value of x will be 9. But what we have? We have 10. That means there is a conflict occurred if you are using shared memory between processes in a IPC. So in order to solve this problem, we have critical section problem. That means in order to solve this conflict, we have critical section concept. Now we see what is a critical section. So if both the processes are not conflicts, we say that their processes are in synchronized. That means process P1 and P2 is synchronized if no conflict occurs. If no conflict occurs. If no conflict occurs, we say that P1 and P2 are synchronized. Now we should give the importance to the P1 and P2 that they should not have conflicts with each other. So in order to avoid the conflict between P1 and P2, we have critical section concept. So first we will discuss about the critical section. What is critical section? Critical section is a segment of code. That means a code that will have shared variable. So critical section have a shared variables. Critical section is a segment of code that have shared variables among the processes. Consider here we have some code of the thing and here critical section entry. Here the code is there, next exit is there, next the reminder section is there. So this is the reminder section. This is the critical section. Consider for a process P1. That means process P1 is started and it is executing the program. and it executing the program, and it will give the information to the system that I am going to enter into the critical section, that we call it as a entry. That means system has to maintain the critical sections of each and every process so that the conflict will not occur. Now P1 is starting execution. It executes some of the statements and it is giving the signal to the system that I am going to enter into the critical section. Now entry will happen, it enter into its critical section. Now system will log the shared variables whichever we are using over here. So here we use the shared variable. So in the critical section we write shared variables data, whatever you may be update, modify, accessing, reading, printing, writing, any operation you do on the shared variable, that code we write in the entry and exit statements, so that system will not give the permission to enter other processes into their critical sections. They also have the shared data. That means system is giving the permission to the P1 only. Why? Because P1 is asking the system to enter into the critical section. So once P1 is in its critical section, no other process should be in their critical section. They can execute their before critical section, after critical section, but they do not have to enter into their critical section. This is the responsibility of system. So overallly critical section is nothing but a shared variable code is presented in the critical section. System will allow that only one process can enter into critical section, such that no other process can be into their critical section. Now as soon as the work of the process P1 is completed in its critical section, it will again send the back to the signal to the system that my critical section is over, I am exiting. So after exiting that, the P1 will execute the remainder section, such that as soon as P1 is out from the critical section, system may give the permission for the P2, P3 or P4, whichever the process is asking. So which process is asking to enter into critical section, system will give the permission to that critical section. Clear? Now in order to solve this critical section problem, we have some of the solutions. The first one is mutual exclusion. So the first one is what? Mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion is nothing but one process is in its critical section, no other process can enter into their critical section. That means P1 is in critical section such that P1, P2, P3, P4, so on, Pn should not enter into their critical sections. So this is one of the requirement for the critical section problem. Now the next one is progress. So the second one is what? Progress. Progress is nothing but, consider there are three processes P1, P2, P3, right? P1, P2, P3. Now no process is in critical section. No processes are there into their critical section. P1 is not in critical section, P2 is not in critical section, P3 is not in critical section, right? Now, if no process is in critical section and any one of the process is asking the system to enter into their critical section, system will give the permission. But when if the any one of the process, any process is there not in remainder section, any process not in their remainder section, that means what? P1 is executing the statements, here the critical section is there, here the remainder section is there. Now P2 also same, here the section is there, critical section is there, remainder section is there. Now P3 is a process, critical section, so here the critical section is there, these are the critical section, next this is the remainder section of P3. Now assume that P1 is executing in its remainder section, P2 is executing in this section, P3 is executing these statements, right? Now here no process is in its critical section, but here no process is in their critical section. P2 is executing this, P3 is executing this, P1 is executing its remainder section. Now if any one of the process is asking the system to enter into the critical section, it will give the permission to the processes such that the processes are not in the remainder section. Look here, P2, P3 are not in the remainder section. P1 is in the remainder section. So P1 system will not give the permission for the P1. Why? Because it is into its remainder section. System may give the permission to enter the critical section for the P2 and P3. So such condition we call it as process. And the last one is bounded. Bounded is nothing but every process should have a limit. So every process should have a limit for their execution time. So that we call it as a bounded. That means every process should have a limit to their critical section. Consider P1 is in its critical section at least for half an hour. At least for half an hour. So it is not exiting. It is not exiting from the critical section, so that P2, P3 and cannot use the same variables which are occupied, which are shared by in the shared memory. So what will happen? Only the P1 will execute. P2, P3 has to wait for a long time unless P1 should complete the critical section. So if that case is there, the critical section, that means the process will be in the P1 will only execute for a long time. So it may be difficult in some situations. So we have the limit of the time to enter and exit their critical section. That means how much time should spend in its critical section for a process. There is a limit such that the process can enter for only 10 minutes to stay in the critical section, or 15 minutes or 20 minutes. That means the time limit is there to execute the critical section. That we call it as a bounded. Right? So these are the different requirements for the critical section problem. So this is process synchronization and critical section problem. Thank you. Thank you for watching videos. If you like my videos, please subscribe and share to your friends. Thank you.